What the hell was that? What's up, everybody? That was Thursday Night Football for you. The gift of all gifts after Christmas. There were some great games that were played Christmas Day, and then you get that 6-3 Thursday Night Football. Seattle Seahawks defeat the Bears. Last play of the game, too, for Caleb Williams. The interception-less streak ends for him. I don't even know where to start, to be completely honest with this. Like, I'm there in the living room. My fiance's there. Like, I think she was better off because she didn't really watch the game. And I'm there tweeting away on my laptop. And for what? Like, that was such an embarrassment on all levels. Defensively, actually, I'll give them credit. 6 points. Like, they more than did the job today. But offensively, it is such a crapshoot for the Chicago Bears. And I mean, yes, the offensive line is to blame, but you can't also you can't remove Caleb Williams from that as well. Like, you don't get sacked let's see, make sure, yeah, that's up to date. 7 times without it all just being on the offensive line. Like, he is to blame for that. But I think the biggest issue with this is that you're seeing right now Caleb in an offense that, one, if pressure is coming right now from the Seattle Seahawks, and they did different ways, different formations, lined up different guys, brought different players from different angles, all of this. The Bears simply just don't have answers for it. And maybe that's Caleb not identifying what looks like a guy is going to blitz off the edge and not knowing where the hot is at, or in the play design, there's not a hot or a quick something for him to make that adjustment if someone else is coming off the edge. So I think it's with the design, it's with Caleb, it's with the line, it's literally everything. And it's equating to some, I think, bad habits that are also starting to happen with the rookie quarterback. But at the same time, you're also seeing these flash plays like the fourth down throw to DJ Moore. I was watching the next gen angle or whatever it is. And you don't even get to see that play get made because he's backing up trying to avoid the rush and he throws it and you're like, where's this ball going? Oh, it ends up in DJ Moore's hands. Like, that's an incredible play by Caleb Williams. The touchdown that was taken away to Rome Odunze, rolling left, Jumpman logo to Rome, called back for Jake Curran's hold, which, look, it's a hold. It's a holding. It's a very ticky-tack hold, but it's a hold. Like, there are flashes of it. There definitely are. But there's also so much inconsistency within those flashes that even in a rookie season that statistically doesn't look terrible for Caleb Williams, when you get sacked as many times as he's had, and what is it, 66, 67? I would have to go honestly look it up. There's been so many, and there were 7 just in this game alone. There are some things that I think you do have to legitimately be concerned about moving forward. But at the same time, does a better coaching, a full coaching staff that maybe puts less on Caleb's play, simplifies things, makes it to where he can have those answers within a play if a blitz is coming? Because this is what defense are going to look at now. Based off of his rookie tape, you're going to try to confuse Caleb Williams, have him hold the ball for longer than what he would like to, and then make him pay for it. Because, when you watch that next gen angle on Thursday Night Football, you see all the stats about what happens when, you take a sack as opposed to like throwing the ball away. Of course, like common sense type of things, but Caleb has taken a lot of sacks. The offensive line has not helped him to avoid sacks. He also has not helped himself at times to avoid sacks. The receivers have not made plays at times. Like, this is all a collective effort. This is not just a Caleb Williams thing. This is not just an offensive line thing. This is not just a receiver thing, a play caller thing, a head coaching thing. This is all a collective. They always say it takes more than just one guy. It takes all 11. It literally takes all 11 here. And I think, too, though, when you look at just Caleb Williams, 16 of 28, 122 yards, no touchdowns, a 4.4 average, 1 interception, those 7 sacks, it's got to be better. And you're thinking against a Seattle Seahawks defense that's been pretty leaky as of late, especially against the two previous NFC North teams that they faced in the Packers and Vikings. Maybe they could have done something. The weather probably didn't help, but to be as bad as it was today, and another primetime game where the Bears just get embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassed. You have Washington. The Hail Mary. We all know how that ended. Then why am I blanking on more primetime games? You have that. Oh, I'm sorry. I try to forget Monday Night Football, the last game that I actually covered in person. Doug Kramer forgetting to report, taking away a touchdown, and losing that game convincingly against your NFC North rival. You have that happen, and then you have this 3 freaking points at home to close out the 2024 season. Time. Okay. You know what? I brought this beer for a reason. Like, I'm usually not big into drinking. Whatever. It doesn't matter. What? Give me a moment here just to take a sip here. But it's just embarrassing. And then just as I was leaving the living room to come in here and record, you hear sell the team on the Amazon, broadcasts. And it's funny because earlier this morning, I was at Bears Fit, and who do I see? George McCaskey, work it out. And you know what? I'll give him credit. He was putting in some damn work, but he sees that. He's going to hear that. And it is so justified for this fan base to want better, to want more, to going into this season expecting more than this. 4-11, 4-4 at home now after starting, you were hot at home, and then London happened, and then nothing went well. Nothing. 10-game losing streak. It is astonishing that the Bears are here. But in I don't know, is it actually, it's astonishing, but it's also not, because it is the Chicago Bears. And to know that they have, for lack of a better word, shit the bed this bad, like this is what this team's going to be known for in 2024. For all the failures that they have put Caleb Williams in his rookie season, how he hasn't helped himself, but it's just a whole organizational failure. And let's start with the offensive line. When you have a guy like Jake Curran in there, and that he was in place of Tevin Jenkins, who obviously can't stay on the field, you have to go back to why maybe Curran's even in there in the first place. I mean, Ryan Poles built this offensive line, brought the talent in so that when later on the season, when injuries would happen, he would feel good about the depth that he had. And, he infamously said that, this is one of the deepest depths on the O-line that he's ever had for a team. Not verbatim, but something along those lines. And we're seeing how the lack of quality of players that are currently up front for the Bears are hurting the entire unit. Oh, the false start. What was that, on fourth down? Later in the game, DeAndre Swift's face, looking at Jake Curran, like just shaking his head. That was all Bears fans, because they all felt the exact same way. And I don't know if that was a cadence issue, that was just a Jake Curran issue, if that's just the Bears issue of how this whole season's going, but that is what it's been like. It has been an absolute struggle. And again, to score 3 points in prime time the day after Christmas, it is so embarrassing. So embarrassing. If I feel bad for the people that went to that game, that expected more, that wanted to have a good time with their family. Maybe you still did, having an experience at Soldier Field, last game of the year, if it's your first game, whatever it may be. Just, that's what you can come to expect from this Chicago Bears team. You can take it from people who cover the team, who grew up watching the team, kids went there for the first time, whatever. But that it's unacceptable. It's inexcusable. And the sell the team chants that were going throughout the stadium, especially later on in the game. And then, like I said, right at the end there at the Amazon broadcast, that's what should be expected when you see that kind of performance. when that kind of performance happens, when the offense looks the way it has and they can't move the ball to save their lives, like that's exactly the type of response you should expect from your passionate fan base when they don't consistently see the results that they want to see. And they're not asking for much at this point. Just, hey, maybe score in the first quarter. Oh, didn't do that again. You put up a goose egg in the first quarter. Oh, you scored the 3 in the second. That's good. And nothing for the rest of the second half. If there's got to be betting props where you can like just bet how will the Bears start every single game. And if you just did 3 and out for all, the entire season, you would have made a boatload of money because that's exactly how they start the game. That's how they start the second half as well. 3 and out. This team, for whatever reason, does not come out prepared, cannot execute. I don't care if it's a lack of depth on the offensive line. I don't know if it's Caleb Williams not being on par with Thomas Brown. For whatever reason, it looked like the play calls were coming a little late. There was something going on there. It's just everything that could have happened in the worst way did. And yes, they played, 3 games in 11 days, whatever the time span was. But the Seahawks traveled all the way over here to Chicago. And they obviously offensively, they were struggling too, only put up 6 points. But they still did more than the Bears and were able to come away with a victory. Oh boy, it's that was such a Bears type of game though to be played on, the day after Christmas. Like I just kept feeling like, man, this is what people have to watch. This is the national audience. Like embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Just kind of going through some stats here. DeAndre Swift was your leading ball carrier, 12 carries, 53 yards. Obviously, no touchdowns for anybody when he scored 3 points. DJ Moore, leading receiver, 6 receptions, 54 yards. You had Coleman Shelton with that fumble there. I completely forgot that happened. Your leading tackler, 3 Bears defenders with 6 total tackles. TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, Kyler Gordon, TJ and Tremaine almost having an interception. On that? Was it the first drive of the game? Both in the middle of the field, and I don't know, they run into each other. Tremaine looked like he had the ball, didn't have the ball. And, obviously the Bears can't do anything with that. And the Seahawks are able to get a field goal off of that play. But just a really poor performance. And I'm just trying to look at it's even tough to do. Like a 6-3 game, you lose your 10th game in a row. You're 4-11, 1 game left against Green Bay Packers, who are still going to be playing for. Obviously, there's still going to be something to be played for. They're in that end of the season, and good kudos to them for putting themselves in a position to do that. But I think you do look defensively what they're able to do for some stops there. You didn't see DK Metcalf get going. Jackson Smith and Jigba had a couple of plays here and there, but ended the night with just 3 receptions, 32 yards. That was a big matchup for Kyler Gordon, and I know he had a 3rd down stop, break up on Jackson Smith and Jigba. But, yeah, look, at this point, I don't think anyone really cares. Like, what's the defense doing? There's going to be a new defensive coordinator here anyway. There's going to be a new offensive coordinator. There's going to be a new head coach, and deservedly so. This team, I thought maybe they would just be a head coach away, a head coach and a staff, obviously. You bring in a staff and a head coach, let's say just Ben Johnson, for example, that will help fix the Bears' problems. And it will help fix some problems, but it's a tall task, I think, looking at this Bears team. And I know they've been in some close games and things like that, but down the stretch, like this defense outside of this game has been getting dissected. Your offense, you're still seeing, look, at this point, I get it. Caleb Williams, Roman Dunze, they've been off. Look, they're on 4th downs against the Detroit Lions, and then they're off in the middle of the field on a throw where Caleb looks like he wants Rome to keep crossing over the middle of the field. Rome's kind of throttling down. Ball falls incomplete. There's another throw where it looks like it's a little high, but it looks like Rome is able to get his hands on it. That ball falls incomplete. For whatever reason, those guys it's been inconsistent all year. And through the inconsistencies, Rome has Let me go see his official stats on the season. Like what? He's got over 700 yards, right? 701 yards off of 51 receptions. I don't know if that reflects today's game, but yeah, man, it's frustrating to kind of watch how this team, just how bad things have gone. There are bad teams, and like you could be a bad team and still put up numbers offensively, and still compete. And the Bears competed in this one. It was a one score game. They lost by a field goal, but like we've seen, for example, like the Justin Herbert early Chargers years, where they're just throwing the ball over the yard, and Justin Herbert's showing you exactly who he is and showing that he can, you know, not okay. I don't want to just say put up numbers to put up numbers, but he could be a quarterback that can make the necessary throws. We'll see blitzes and give the ball off to check downs and be a part of the solution. And I think Caleb Williams obviously could fall into that same exact scenario as well. But when you're not scoring, you're not moving the ball consistently, it's hard to look at it that way, in my opinion. Maybe other people don't view it the exact same way, but I just feel like you need to see some type of production and consistently. And I know that Caleb Williams has, put up some numbers and is doing things that, you know, some quarterbacks in Bears history haven't, but let's be honest, that's a very low bar to be set. A very low bar. Not throwing, not having interceptions every other throw, or just being clean with the football and things like that. But I just look at this team and I'm kind of at a loss for words. And like I said in the beginning, like this was shocking, but it wasn't. In this Thursday night game, I guess I mean, like probably a lot of people, you expected more. You expected more than, let's see, what were the total yards and everything here? Well, the Seahawks were much better. The Bears were 5 of 15 on third down. Seahawks 5 of 13. Total yards for the Seattle Seahawks 265. The Bears at 179. Both had 10 total drives, 3.1 yards per play by the Bears on average to 5.2 to Seahawks. Actually, let me go defensively. Early on, you saw the battle in the trenches, how the Seattle Seahawks were able to win that, I think, early on. And, I was surprised at times where they just didn't want to try to still commit to that rushing attack. They finished with 122 yards on 25 carries, but you just saw the line of scrimmage battle where the Seattle Seahawks offensive line was able to win those, whether it was just those duo blocks, one-on-one, whatever it was, they were able to push the line of scrimmage in their favor. And again, that goes back to Ryan Poles and the construction of this D line. I know that you're missing some guys. Zach Piggins, a healthy scratch, being a third-round draft pick, and that just shows the misses that Ryan Poles has had in the third round with Velus, Karan, Zach. And that's a draft pick that I think you pretty much you can count on is going to contribute. Doesn't have to be a big time player for you, but you definitely expect him to contribute and be a part of your team, and someone that you can put in a rotation, whether it's on the offensive line, defensive line, or a skill player. The Bears have none of that at the defensive lineman that they have in Pickens, the offensive lineman right now in Karan Amagaji, and Velus Jones-Jr. is already out on a practice squad somewhere. So I think this loss kind of highlighted a bunch of different things that have gone wrong with this Bears team. And man, that sell the team. Like, for someone like a George McCaskey who takes a lot of pride in, being a fan of this team, but also he wants to be proud of the product. How can you be? How can you be as of late, especially? And knowing that the NFC North, the rest of the teams in the NFC North are doing what they're doing, competing, and are set to go make playoff runs, while your team, despite having a rookie, I mean, I get it. You have a rookie quarterback. There's some new pieces. But this roster, you look at some of the talent on this roster, you're telling me that they're that much worse than every single other team in the NFC North? It's bad, man. It's not good. And Like this next, not this isn't breaking news by any means, but then this next head coaching hire will determine everything for the Bears. Whether Caleb Williams can take that next step and be the quarterback that can take those flashes that we see, some of those throws I talked about earlier, and he doesn't have to consistently make those, but can take those flash plays and then add the consistency of being someone that can identify blitzes, take the check down, and then, put that all into a complete package for a quarterback. That's what you need to see. But you need that coach to get that guy to that level. You need the staff that he's going to bring in to get that quarterback to that level. Because there was a point at when it was the fourth down, before the interception that Caleb Williams threw, that showed Thomas Brown on the side, but also showed Jalen Johnson, and you could just tell he's like, yeah, here's another one. Here's another loss, basically. You could just read it on his face, and I get that. For a guy like him who got drafted with Cole Kmet, who didn't get a single target in this game, it's like you're so used to the losing that this is what it is at this point. This is exactly what it is. And I would imagine it's hard to be optimistic that, yeah, next year is going to be the year. I bet you he's been thinking that every single year since he's been drafted by the Bears. Him and Cole probably been thinking the exact same thing. And every single fan has probably been thinking that way longer than them because they've been here longer than them. And it still has obviously been the absolute opposite of great. 2018 was the one year where the Bears were actually relevant. And, Al Michaels bringing it up like, yeah, it ends on, we know. Everybody knows. Oh, man. All right. That was something, you guys. But you know what? Actually, as I'm kind of closing this out, because I'm just rambling and not knowing exactly where I want to go with this. And, if anybody even watches this, I'd be surprised knowing just, how bad this game was, how frustrating it was to watch as fans. We had the one exciting play with Kyler Gordon. Great play by the entire defense on that play. One wrapping up the ball carrier, the tight end, and then, Kyler just stripping out the football. That's exactly how you want to play. That's how you, all 11, right? Or however many guys were actually in on that play. But I do want to give a shout out to, there's been so many people that have given me support on, whether it's been here on the YouTube channel, on Twitter, everywhere, Instagram. It's been awesome. I really appreciate it. I feel that, again, like I said in the earlier video I did today, like I show people, like, look at all the comments and all the support. I really do appreciate it. But I have to give a shout out to Windy City Sports Cards at 312 Sports Cards 1. You should give them a follow on Twitter. They are awesome. They did a giveaway, and they started this, on December? This is on December 19th that they tweeted this? Yeah, so, obviously December 26th now, but said, all right, for Nicholas Moreano, one of the good ones, one lucky winner will win a signed Tillman jersey. And to enter, all you had to do was like and retweet. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/at Nicholas Moreano, and then the winner will be announced at halftime of this game. And that was such a nice gesture by the guys over there. And I just want to say I really appreciate you. And, I've seen definitely the YouTube numbers grow. And, I saw the winner, I believe, was Jonathan Otten. If I'm not mistaken, I thought I saw that earlier I believe I saw that. Well, that's just awesome that, you got a really good one there and winning. And then everybody who, entered, followed, appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's been a lot like this last week and a half, but I think doing this has helped and given me a platform to talk Bears. And I'll have to look. I'm not technology challenge or anything. I know my technology. I just need to get this all set up so I can just start doing my own live shows and get some, get the chat going and interact with you guys live. I think that would be a lot of fun. And a good way to just keep building my own brand, which I'm going to keep on doing. And until I find that next stop for me to give myself a platform to talk Bears, cover Bears the way I want to. So yeah, I'll probably wrap it up there. 6-3 Seahawks win. We'll I should be at House Hall all this next week for the final week of the 2024 regular season. The plan is for me to be in Green Bay to close things out. I am looking forward to that, regardless of what that's going to look like, because God only knows that's going to be great. But yeah, no. Again, appreciate everybody. Don't let this ruin your weekend. Go watch better football. There's better football to be watched. It doesn't have to be with the Bears. And yeah, enjoy your weekend. The Bears are out of it. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Enjoy your Friday or Saturday or Sunday. I know I'll be doing that. And it's going to be much better that knowing that the Bears will not be playing to disappoint and break everybody's hearts like they typically do. But that's going to do it. Appreciate everyone for watching. Wrapping up. How have I gone for 25 minutes? I have no idea when this game does not have 25 minutes worth of talking points to discuss, but somehow I did it. Somehow you watched, you listened. Please subscribe. Share this with some a Bears fan that you know that you think would like these takes or hate them, whatever. I appreciate the viewership in any way that it comes. And again, thank you so much. I will be back, I'm sure, soon to do another video or write an article or whatever it may be. But I will see you guys next time. Adios.